This dish is based on a French peasant dish of lamb and lentils, except we're going to make it a little bit more posh, I suppose, using a lamb loin instead of a braised lamb shoulder. It has no fat to protect it, so sous vide cooking is the perfect method for keeping all of that moisture and all of those flavours trapped inside the meat. We've got these lovely puy lentils or beluga lentils, some celery, some carrots. In with the lamb, we're going to put a little bit of thyme, a little bit of lemon zest and a little bit of garlic just to help season that meat, and that lemon's just going to lighten the flavour that goes in there. This is a really, really simple dish. It takes 2 bags, no pots and pans, and it's ready in 40 minutes. Stick it in the sous vide, go upstairs, get out of your work gear, get into something comfortable, come down, pour a glass of wine, and it'll be ready. The first part of this recipe is to get the lamb in cooking because it takes 40 minutes. So we take one of our lovely little vac bags, and these loins of lamb are just going to go straight into the bottom of the bag. 2 of these is going to be plenty to feed 2 people. It may even do 3 unless you're a big lad like I am and you're hungry. A nice strip of lemon zest. We don't want too much of this white bit because it's a bit bitter and a bit sort of pithy and horrible, so that goes straight in. Nice sprig of thyme, some salt, a little bit of cracked black pepper, and a little bit of our great British rapeseed oil can go in there too. And make sure that bag is well sealed all the way across. So I've just got to get the air out of the bag now. Removing all the air will, 1, help get that little bit of salt and pepper into the meat and using the rapeseed oil, but also it'll help hold the shape of the meat as well because it's got nothing else protecting it now, just this bag. Right, let's get the lamb in to cook. So we take this off. This helps hold the bags down in the water so you get nice even cooking. It just clips on the top like so. Now that's going to go in there at 57 degrees for 40 minutes. But 12 minutes before the end of the cooking time, we're going to get our lentils in, and that way everything comes together at the same time. So it's really, really important to use the timer on this, but also have a separate timer around so that you can get everything in and it all cooks and comes together at the same time. And now for the base for our posh peasant dish. We've got our diced celery, our diced carrots, and years of practice mean I don't really have to look anymore. If you can't do that, another way of doing it is you could grate them into there using a box grater. They'll be a bit smaller and they'll cook a little bit more quickly, but you'll still get that nice evenly cooked texture. We're going to get a little bit of garlic in there. Lamb and garlic, vegetables and garlic, lentils and garlic work so well together. And leave this little bit of skin on the outside. We're not going to chop this down very far. We're just actually going to split it in half. And that's just going to go into our lentils like so. There's 250 grams of lentils here, so it'll be enough to feed 2 or 3 people, the same as the lamb. And it just goes straight in. Once everything's in there, give it a good shake around, get it all mixed up. Then you're going to get all of those flavours mingling together. A nice splash of our chicken stock. Now, if you're using fresh stock that you've made yourself because you've got nothing better to do with your life, that's great. But if you're going to do anything using stock cubes, just be careful of the amount of salt in them. Make sure that you dilute them correctly, else you're going to end up with a really, really salty dish that's just not going to be very nice to eat. Finally, a good splash of our balsamic in there. Buy the best balsamic that you can, because it's not going to reduce very far in there, and we want that real nice sort of sweet and sour thing going on. 12 minutes to go. It's time to get the lentils in. The lamb's nearly there. Fold the top of the bag over, because it's a larger bag. Pop it down inside, and this helps hold all of that down under the water again to keep that cooking evenly. It's all about that nice, gentle, even cooking. Our lamb's been cooked for 40 minutes at 57 degrees, so it's poached out beautifully. I just now want to add a little bit of colour and a little bit more flavour to the outside, and the best way to do that is to get some oil on there and get it into a really hot, dry pan. Now, I always put it into a dry pan because the oil gets too hot or burns before you even get the meat in there, or somebody comes to the door, or you get a phone call and you end up with burnt oil, or even the danger of maybe having even the pan set on fire. So it's always better just to add the oil straight onto the meat, and it doesn't really need a lot. A little turnover. Our posh peasant's dinner is coming together now. The last thing to do is to just put some fresh mint in with those lentils, because the lentils, the balsamic, the mint and all those vegetables are going to create that lovely kind of light casserole. And you can leave it quite rough. Again, you don't need to obliterate it. You don't need to chop it down till it's like a fine powder. Having it quite rough like that means that when it hits that nice warm sauce, it stands a chance of letting all those oils out of the leaves and it'll taste really, really good. And just give it a little shake around. We're just going to spoon a little bit of it into the bottom of our bowl. And then we're going to slice the lamb and get the lamb on top. It's really important you rest the lamb. It stops it being tough and chewy. What'll happen is those fibers will just start to ease away from each other and create little gaps. And any of that moisture that's been pushed out will start to go back in and you'll end up with this really nice succulent lamb loin. So you need to just be a bit more gentle with it and take a bit more time. These lentils now have got a gorgeous coating of that chicken stock and the balsamic and a little bit of oil on them. And take our lamb, just slice through in nice thick pieces. Because it's nicely rested, it'll have a nice even colour and should be just kind of a blush pink in the middle. You don't need to underdo it, you just need to have that nice blush of pink in there. And all we're going to do is just lay these around like so, on there. Get those nice big medallions of meat on there. And the last bit's known as the chef's perk, and that's for me. My final little touch to this lamb dish are these. The nasturtium flowers. These are really, really good because they're quite peppery, and the pepperiness with the lamb and the lentils and the vinegar just adds yet another layer of flavour. This is one of those dishes that's great all year round. In the winter, it's substantial enough that you feel full and you've eaten something quite hearty. But in the summer, it's light enough with that vinaigrette with the balsamic vinegar and the mint. Even if I say so myself, that's pretty good. Give it a go. It's so easy and tastes so, so great. We've got loads more simple and sublime recipes like this one for you to whip up at home with your Burton Sous Vide. So subscribe to our YouTube channel for lots more tips and ideas.